SABC 1. Sabukele inkqubo ndaba yakho ke oyithanda kunene Kids News. Njengoko ke uyazi mbukeli ukuba ubugcisa bokunika iqonga lokuzibonakalisa izakhono zakho ngokuphandle yaye oko kukwakunika nethuba lokuqhubeleka uphuhla yaye ugqwesa kwezobugcisa. Yolonto ke isikolo samantombazana iRustenburg Junior School iza kubamba inkomfa yesibini yaminyaka le kwiqonga lobuxhaka-xhaka negxile ekuphuhliseni izifundo zenkcubeko nobugcisa ezikolweni. Ukuphicotha banzi oku ke namhlanje kwiqonga likaZoom sehleli Odile Burden nongumfundisintsapho oyintloko kweze-violin kwesi sikolo yaye uza kusichazela ngale nkomfa. Good morning, Odile, and welcome to Kids News.
Good morning, Emma. Thank you so much for having me.
It's such an absolute pleasure to have you, particularly because we want to talk about the creative industry. So, matter of fact, the first question I have for you is, looking at the creative arts, pretty much anyone can attest to this. It's a full box of candy, pretty much a plethora of activities that are
The creative arts really covers the full spectrum. So we're talking about music, we're talking about visual art, drama, poetry, storytelling, and really just every single sector that speaks to all of those areas.
And also the arts are often marginalised at schools. You know, they are put aside, they're not really taken into consideration when it comes to decision making rather. What do you think it's important to extensively incorporate them into, you know, the arts or rather the education system?
You know, Emma, the arts as a whole has so much to give to the holistic education of a child. Besides the creativity that a child can learn from participating in artistic activities, the cultural awareness that they gain, the motor skills that they learn from, you know, learning how to manipulate a pencil on a piece of paper, learning how to play an instrument. There's studies that prove that participation in art speaks to your academic performance. You know, learning how to, I'm a musician myself, so I relate my everything to learning the violin, for example. If we're learning a particularly difficult piece, and I'm trying to figure out how to make my fingers work in a specific way so that I can play this really difficult passage. We're learning about problem solving. We're learning how to, you know, really commit to something and persevere even though things are difficult. So it's really more than just about learning an instrument or learning drama or learning to paint. It really is about the skills that come along with all of that.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important that every child has access to art education.
Yeah, and I guess also cultivating that at such a young age is going to work towards the advantage of those children. But moving along to Rustenburg Girls Junior, you are going to host a conference that is going to be basically accessible to all South African teachers and all schools in general. And it's mainly all about arts and educating teachers and schools about arts. Maybe, may you just highlight some of the key issues that particular conference will address?
Absolutely. So the Creative Arts Conference 2022 is taking place on the 9th and 10th of September. And it's a virtual conference, which means that it's accessible to so many more people across South Africa. The main issue that we are dealing with is why is art education so important? Why is art education integral to every single student's education? And really it's a space for creative art teachers, not only creative art teachers, all teachers, because there's so many teachers who do need to teach creative art. University students, anybody who really takes an interest in art education, to come and exchange ideas, motivate each other, get inspired and inspire each other, talk about the challenges, try to find solutions.
Looking forward to that conference, I can tell you that for sure. But also still sticking to the whole theme about the creative industry, maybe what are some of the socio-economic challenges that you think learners are facing, and perhaps how can art in particular help identify and, you know, end up solving those certain issues?
There's so many issues that come to mind, but if I think, for example, of something like bullying, for example, you know, the beauty of the art is that it makes a difficult issue. It makes people able to connect to an issue that is difficult to understand, difficult to verbalize in a way that they wouldn't have to do. So, you know, suddenly, if we're now placed in an tribal situation and making music with fellow peers. In a situation where I'm able to cultivate friendships and cultivate relationships.
Yeah.
And in a place where suddenly I've had like-minded individuals, I am able to express myself through in a way that I didn't have before. I may not have had the words, but give me a tool, give me a instrument, and now suddenly I have a voice to express. I have something that I can identify with.
That you can identify with. Unfortunately, Odile, because of time, we have to cut the interview short, but thank you very much for being a part of the conversation and joining us on Kids News.
Thank you so much for having me, Leon.
Such an absolute pleasure once again. Ngokuqinisekileyo ke mbukeli nawe ke uzawukwazi ukufumana ke inkcukacha apha ke ezantsi kumabonakude wakho. Hayi ke inene ke ubugcisa bungundoqo ekuphefumleni imbono neengcinga zakho phandle okanye eqongeni kunjalo nje ikhwelo lityala mbukeli. Kuke kodwa masikhe sive ukuba wena apho ekhaya ucinga ukuba kutheni ezobugcisa nenkcubeko zibalulekile.
Art is important. It helps me to perceive the world in a completely different way after doing art. I also find that the way I do my art or any kind of art helps to influence my day-to-day activities and my life, and I often find that my life is influenced and put into my art, and it's incredible to see that.
When I listen to it and when I play music, I'm basically in another world that brings me joy and happiness, and I think you should play instruments and get into music because you don't have to be a certain type of person to do it, and you can also have fun while doing it.
I've done drama since grade 2. I've done orals, I've done poems, and I enjoy doing that because it's like your voice just turns differently and you can just show other people how creative you are.
Art plays a significant role in my life. I can use art as a coping method, and it really just provides such a relaxed state in my life. It also supplies me with such peace and such joy.
It brings joy to me when I play, and why all kids around the world should join music is it's very joyful. You get to play music when you don't really have anything to listen to. You get to play the music that you would like to listen to.
When I play, like when I act, it's sort of like I can forget about real life for that brief moment and just be this whole nother character and make up my own story for this character in my head.
I don't express myself well in words, but I feel like I'm telling a whole story when I play violin. It feels like all my problems somehow disappear and nothing else in this world really matters.
Pariza ngokuqinisekileyo kuhle mbukelo ukubona abantwana bethu abathi inxaxheba kwezobugcisa nawe ke ngokuqinisekileyo ungenza njalo. Kwangoku ke kodwa masibeke umnyo apho sisathi tsiye entengisweni hlala nathi.
More than a viewer, more than a teacher.
Hala la